Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Learn with Javed. In this video I am going to talk about index function. Index function is recently launched by Microsoft in Power BI and it is very useful function. What it actually do, it actually returns the value on the basis of its position. Okay, so in the second slide you can see the definition also, but I would recommend do not go through the definition because I will give you some example. Through that you would easily and better understand what is index and how do we use it. The next slide you can see we have 5 parameter in index function. The first is position, the second is relation, then order by, blanks, and the last one is partition by. In the next slide I have given the definition of each parameter. So like I said earlier, I would not recommend you to go through the definition. It is just for the understanding. You only need to keep in your mind that the first parameter, that is position, is mandatory and the rest parameters are optional, right? So without wasting time, let's jump into the Power BI wherein I will give you some example. Okay, so now I am in my PBI file. You can see that in this PBI file we have one table, that is table policies, and in this table we have a few columns like policy, expiry, location, state, and etc. Now before creating any measure and using index function, what I want to do, I want to create a table. Why? The reason behind it, index function returns a table as an output. So to explain how actually index function work, I am going to create a new table and let's give it some name. Let's say index table, write index function. Now the first parameter of this function is position, so let's say I put 2, and the second parameter of this function is relation. So you could say relation is something like a table, so we need to feed a table to index function. So in this example I am going to use all function, which actually returns a table, and now as a column reference I am going to take business type. Since I have already explained that index function, the first parameter is optional, the first parameter is mandatory and the rest 4 parameters are optional. So as of now I am using only the first 2 parameter, that is position, and the second is table. Now if I hit enter, what I get construction, right? Now let's try to understand how we are getting this value. So let me comment this code and run the single all function code. Now if I run this code, what I get one column, that is business types, and I get the unique values of that column. Okay, so what all is providing me a table with the unique values of business type. Now let's try to analyze the index function. What index is doing, I have given 2 in the position, so index is returning me the value which is available at row number 2. Okay, but how it is retrieving the value? First of all, index is sorting this column on the basis of ascending order. So here we need to note one point, that it sort the column by ascending order. Okay, so now let me uncomment this code and comment this code. Now if I get the, you can see that I am having the construction, right? Let me comment this and uncomment this. Now if I just sort this column on the basis of ascending order, you could see that the second value is construction, the same result I am getting from my index function. You could see the construction value, right? It is available at the second position. Now it's clear that what index is doing, index is providing us the value which is available at row 2, or you could say at position 2. Now let's try to understand the rest of the parameter of index function. Now if I just see the next parameter, it is order by. So as of now we know that index function is sorting our column on the basis of ascending order, and then it is retrieving the value. Now let's say I want that my index function should retrieve the value on the basis of descending order. So if I use this second parameter order by and then put the column reference of business type column, and then I want to sort my column on the basis of descending instead of ascending. Now if I just hit enter, what I will get, you can see that now I am having the result retail. Why? The reason behind it, my index function is sorting this column on the basis of ascending. Now if I do the sorting on ascending, you could see the second value is retail, which I'm having by the index function. So now we learned two things. One, by default index sort the column on ascending order, right? Okay, so as of now we have learned that we learned about the three parameter. One is position, the second is relation, we can call it table, and the third is order by. Now let's try to understand the additional or further parameter of this function. The next parameter is blank. So in this parameter you can see we have four options: first, keep, last, and skip. So as of now, if you just go through the definition, you can see currently the only supported value is keep, that is by default index is using. Rest of the options are not working. So that is the reason I am going to skip this parameter, because as of now it is not in use. So we can leave this part. We just move to the next parameter, that is partition by, which is really important. Now let's say instead of the business type I want to include one additional column called region, and now I just want to do the partition by business type. And if I hit enter now, what I will get, you can see that I'm having multiple values. Okay, now it's a little tricky to understand how it is calculating the values on the basis of this partition by column business type. So in order to explain you with a good example, what I am going to do, one, I am going to copy this result which I get. Second, I am going to copy the result of this table which I am having with this all function. So let me uncomment that code first and let me write it here, all function. So now one second, yeah, now you can see that now I have added the region also, so I'm getting the combination of business type as well as region. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I am going to copy this table and the result of this index function in an Excel file, and then I will create a pivot table on this data wherein we will have only business type and region, so that I can explain you how index function is working with the partition by parameter. So let's go into an Excel file. So here I am in my Excel file now. What I did, I just copied the data from the PBI and then created a pivot on the basis of two columns, that is business type and region. And after that, what I did, I just copy the result which I got from the index function and then paste it here. Now we will analyze how partition by is working. Now as we can see that we are sorting the data on the basis of ascending order on business type. Now our first very result is service and we are having the value Midwest. So if I go to the business type service, you can see that at the second position I have Midwest. That is why we are having the Midwest value. Similarly, if I go to the retail, you can see that at the second position of retail we have East. That is the reason we are having here East. Same goes for the recreation, other, and the organization, and so on. You can see we are having the second value of this partition by business type. So this is how partition by is giving us the result. So let's go back to the PBI, wherein now I am going to create a measure wherein I will use my index function, right? Just go back to the PBI. Now I am back in my PBI file, and now we have actually understood how index function is working. Let me create a new measure wherein I will use the index function now. Let's back to the report page. Here I am going to create a matrix. So just drag the matrix and take business type, and along with that I am going to use my measure. So this is my measure in which I am just doing the summation of insured column and using this sum aggregate function. It's a simple measure. Let's drag it into the matrix. Now let's click on new measure and give it some name, call it index example. And since I have already explained that index function returns a table as an output, right? So here I am going to take a reference of that measure, that is total amount in lakhs, and now I am putting my index function in the second argument of calculate, like this. Now what I want to do, I want to get the value of the table which is available in row 1, right? So put 1, and then in the relation we need to put the table. So I am going to use again all function, and then I am going to take the reference of that column name business type of table policies, bracket close again, and then close the calculate function, hit enter, and drag this measure also into the matrix. Now you could see that what's happening now, if I just sort the business type and see the first value, I mean the value which is appearing in the first row is 11585. So that is why I'm having the same value in every cell of this table if I use the index example 1, right? Now if I just change the order, let's say order by, and take the business type and then ascending to descending, what will happen actually? It will give me the value of last one. It is starting from the end. It is sorting the data on the basis of descending, and then it is providing me the very first value, that is 85 everywhere, right? So I hope you understood how actually index works. If you have any comments, I would request you to please write down below, so that I could also understand that what additional things I should add while creating a video. And do not forget to like, share and subscribe my channel, because these are the small things which motivates me to create more videos. Thank you so much.